Hey, Jordan Bench here, jordanbench.com. In this video, I'm going to share with you ways that you can be spending time with God. So if you're someone that has recently gotten saved, if you've recently given your life over to Jesus, you became a Christian, or if you're someone who has been saved for a while, you've been a Christian for a while, but maybe you just feel like you haven't spent the time with God that you really desire to or you wanted to, and you feel like you've maybe let that slack off a little bit. So what I want to do is just give you several examples of what you can do to spend more time with Him, because we know how valuable that is, especially within our spiritual walk with God. Like, it's so important that we do have that intimate time with Him and that we do focus on Him, because really, if our mind's not focused on Him, then we're not focused on doing the things that we're supposed to be doing for Him, right? If we're not kingdom minded, then we're not going to be doing kingdom work. So it's important that we get our mindset focused on Him and that we do spend time with Him so that we can be useful for the kingdom. So I'm just going to share with you some things that I've done throughout my life since I've been a Christian that have just helped me build a strong relationship with Him and have really helped me grow as a Christian as well. So the one thing that has helped me out is utilizing my time. So for me, if I'm doing something and I realize I have dead time to where it's almost like I can multitask, I'm going to take advantage of that. So one of the ways that I was able to really just take advantage of it was with my job. So I had a welding job. I had it for 8 years, and I think maybe 5 of those years I actually utilized this of what I'm about to tell you. So my job was about an hour away from where I lived. And then I would work anywhere from 8 hours, 10 hours, and sometimes 12 hours. So what I would do is I would utilize my time. I know I would have an hour drive there, and then I'd have an hour drive back. So right there, I had 2 hours. I had 2 hours that I could either pray or I could either listen to something. So a lot of times if I was going to pray, I would pray to God, I'd talk to Him, had conversations, I'd pray for other people, I'd think about people's circumstances that they're in, I'd pray over their circumstances, I'd speak to their situation, I think about my life, if there's people in my life that I want to see get saved, or if I want to see them grow spiritually strong, whatever it is, I'd pray for those people, and things going on in my life as well, I'd pray for those things. Or I would listen to something. So typically I'd put on podcasts, or I'd put on sermons, or I would listen to the audio Bible. And one thing that I like to do is I like the dramatized audio Bible. So it's like you can hear horses in the background. You can hear if for some reason they're in a marketplace, you can hear people talking, and it makes it feel as if you're there. So for me, listening to the Bible felt like an experience, not so much like a monotone voice speaking. It wasn't like that at all. So that right there was a way for me to get something to where I wasn't wasting my time. I could listen to a podcast, I could listen to a YouTube video, I could listen to the audio Bible, whatever it was. So right there was 2 hours that I could use that time. Well, then I have my job. Now, for me, I realize not everybody can do this, but for me, the job that I had, it was so monotonous, and I knew the job in the back of my hand. It was like I did the same thing every day. I worked on a production line, so I could put headphones in, and I did the same thing every day. And what I ended up doing was I started off maybe 1 hour, I would listen to something, and then I progressed myself up to where I could get to 2 hours and 3 hours, and then I got to the point to where 8 hours, 10 hours, I'm listening to YouTube videos, I'm listening to podcasts, whatever it was. So I was able to utilize my time at my job. I was able to utilize it in my car ride. Basically, I just found a way to best use my time to get closer to Him, because ultimately I had a desire to get to know Him better and understand the kingdom, understand what it meant to be a Christian. And I had a lot of questions. So for me, that was time to just really get a good understanding of things. Now, there's a couple other examples I want to give you just besides your job or your drive to work. And it doesn't have to be your drive to work too. Keep this in mind. If I'm going to go to the store, and let's say I know I'm going to go 30 minutes away. Okay, I'm putting in headphones or earbuds, or I'm putting my auxiliary cable from my phone into the car. Whatever it is, maybe I downloaded a podcast and I'm going to listen to a sermon, or I'm going to listen to the audio Bible. Whatever it is, I'm trying to utilize my time even if I'm going to places. That right there is going to help out. Or maybe I'm just going to to the mall or something, going to go get some groceries, and I spend that time and I'm in prayer. All right, so just right there, you're utilizing your time. I know my wife, Laura, what she does is like every single morning when she gets up, every single morning, and I know she does this because I hear this. When she's getting ready, to get ready for the day, she's putting her makeup on, she's getting glammed up or whatever she's doing in there. I hear her listening to a podcast or I hear her listening to a sermon. Every single morning she's doing that. And she's in there for, let's say, 20 or 30 minutes. So she's starting her day off with listening to a sermon. Every day, that's what she's doing. Another example is like if I go to the gym. If I go to the gym, instead of me listening to like some type of, let's say I'm listening to like just regular music that maybe the lyrics aren't that good and it's going to get me into a bad mindset, not a Christian mindset. So I'm not going to listen to those things, right? So I might listen to worship music because it puts my mind on Him. But let's say I don't do that. Let's say I end up listening to like an actual sermon or even the audio Bible again. It just gives me another opportunity. I'm in the gym, I'm working out. Why not? And I understand too, like you might be thinking, how can I focus on my workout and then listen to something like that? Okay, I realize it's not easy at first, but you get used to it. You can train yourself to do this to where you can actually understand what you're listening to and you can go through your workout as well. Even on the treadmill, you can go on the treadmill and you're going to be there for 20 minutes, for most people 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So if you're just going to be walking and doing that, then why not listen to a sermon? Why not listen to the audio Bible? Put on praise and worship music. Think about Him. Whatever it is to get your mindset on Him and thinking about the kingdom and kingdom principles and what we're supposed to be doing as believers. If you start getting your mindset on that, I'm telling you, guess what happens? Throughout the whole day, your mind is fixed on Him. And I've been doing this for years now. So I can honestly tell you, like every single day, my mind is fixed on Him. And it's almost like one of those things where it's like I can't get Him out of my mind. And I don't want to. And that's kind of the idea. It's like it's almost like if you remember, if you're in high school and you're dating someone and it's kind of like new, and it's like you can't stop thinking about that person and what they're doing and all the different stuff that's going on with their life. That's how I am with God. It's like He's always on my mind. Like I am someone where if you start talking to me about sports, it's like I zone out. I literally, I don't really care too much about sports. I don't know much of the facts. I don't pay attention to it. I used to love all that stuff. I don't care about it anymore. I zone out. But you start talking about biblical stuff with me, and it's like I light up. I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this scripture. Let's talk about this story, whatever it is. What I'm saying is the more you use your time throughout your whole day to focus on Him, you become more kingdom minded, more heavenly minded, and you're just so fixed on Him that truly is what matters in your life. And then you begin to see it throughout your life too. You start getting convicted of things as well. Like when you're doing the things that you're not supposed to be doing, you start getting convicted of those things because you realize it's not the lifestyle you're supposed to be living. Another example that you can do is like I mentioned, like if you're getting ready in the morning, but if you're taking a shower, put a speaker on and have the speaker playing. So like I said, whether it's a sermon or podcast or audio Bible, whatever, you got something playing, worship music, whatever, you got something going on, so that way you're still like fixated on Him. I also wanted to mention too that there's an app. I'm trying to think. There's two apps, okay, that I wanted to just throw out here. So when I say I listen to the audio Bible, there's two ways in which I do this, okay? So you might be a reader, and I understand if you're a reader, which that's great. So find time, whether it's in the morning or throughout your day or at night, to just open up the Bible and read. I love to read the Bible because I take my time with it. I go slow, I highlight verses, and then I try to cross-reference verses. So I take my time with it. So if you're a reader, that's fine. Utilize the Bible in that kind of manner to where you can still read and everything else. But what I'm saying is it helps to train yourself to learn how to listen. Because if you can do that, you can utilize your time in so many different areas. So one of the ways I do this is by using a couple different apps. So I use one app called Bible Is. So Bible Is, you can download it for Android or for Apple. When you download it, you can download the ESV version of the Bible, and you can play it in the dramatized version of it. All right, so that's one way. Like I said, it's not like a boring way of listening to it. Then there's something I listen to. I actually have the CD set, and I put it on like MP3, but you can get it on Audible, I know, and it's called The Bible Experience. And it was actually done by, I think over, I could be wrong, like 90, I think there was like 90 actors that was a part of this. I think like Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson. I think that they were actual actors that were the voices of the characters within the Bible experience. So it's actually really well done, and it's really exciting to listen to. And I think you can get it on Audible, and you can just Google search it too. It's called The Bible Experience by a media group, if I remember right. So those two resources right there it's a great way just to listen. And like I said, find podcasts, find YouTube channels, and just start watching videos or listening to videos. I listen to a lot of sermons by pretty much just a couple people. I've listened to a lot of people in the past, but I pretty much have it narrowed down to just a core group of people that I listen to that that I believe are pretty accurate. Like the main guy I listen to, his name is Curry Blake. I listen to him a lot, and he really just convicts you, but he helps get you to a place to where you're gonna actually do something. Todd White's another guy. He's really good with like motivation stuff, like to get you out and doing stuff. Curry's really good on the teaching side of things. There's another guy. His name's Chuck Missler. He actually just passed away recently, and he has like a whole series on learn the Bible in 24 hours. And so Chuck Missler is an awesome guy. He does speak a little bit monotone to listen to it, but I'm just trying to give you examples and ways in which you can just start getting your mind more fixated on him by listening to stuff and by listening to sermons, getting into worship music, whatever it may be. Just any kind of thing like that's going to help out. I do know people have in their mind to where they think they have to, like, I have to have an hour of prayer a day. Like, that's just something that for some reason Christians think I have to have an hour of prayer a day. But see, it might be better if instead of you having an hour of prayer a day, it's like I have to have 1 hour chunk of time devoted to that, right? What if you had, 5 minutes or 10 minutes throughout your whole day in chunks? Here's 5 minutes here, here's 5 minutes here. Now we're at noon, now we're at 1, now we're at 2. And you're going and you're interjecting 5 minutes here and there of prayer time to where you're focusing on him, and then you stop what you're doing and you just give him a moment of your time, and you're just praising him for something in your life that's happening. Or even if you're going through some type of turmoil right now, if you're going through some type of hardship, you're praising him in the middle of that hardship because you're not letting that thing affect who you are. So anyways, I hope I'm kind of giving you some ideas of what you can do. I've been doing this now I've been saved for, I think now since maybe for 9 years now. And I pretty much jumped into this stuff like right when I got saved because I had so many questions and I wanted to know the answers to all these things. So I had been like listening to material, listening to the Bible, for so long now. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying it because I'm trying to utilize my time, because I felt like I got saved. I don't even remember the age, but I felt like all the years before I got saved was a wash, was a waste, that I could have been using that time for him, and I felt like all that time was just a waste. So I need to redeem the time. That's how I've always looked at things. I need to redeem the time. I need to catch myself up to speed of where I could have been or where I should have been. So anyways, I hope, I'm sorry, I kind of went a little bit long in this video, but I just hope this video makes you think of different ways in which you can spend more time with God and how you can do that, and just realizing that growing your relationship with God is one of the best things you can possibly do in your life, because he will radically change your life and he will direct your steps of where you need to go and what you need to be doing. And just having that communion with him is just so amazing when it's on that daily basis. So anyways, if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions for me, or maybe you have any suggestions or whatever it is, just comment below. I try to answer everybody that comments, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to put out a lot of videos, so I'm trying to provide as much value and content as I can. So I will see you in the next video.